Okay. Yes, there we go. Okay, hold on. I just gotta make it so you guys are proper too. I don't know what it is about this program, but every once in a while it does this whole like, hey, you want to go live? Well, I'm going to be on the wrong things. How's that sound? Yeah.
No.
Are you using OBS?
Technically it's Streamlabs, but it's OBS, yep. Okay, let's try this again.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the last coffee stream. Today I'm joined by Aura Avenue.
Aura Avenue!
Hello.
Yes, I am a horror narrator that has a band on. Don't ask questions. We don't do
We're
that
a
here.
band!
And good morning, Sydney. So, just a clarification before we start. Yes, this is the last coffee stream because my stream will be moving to a different day and time and will be renamed. So, this is officially the last coffee stream that I'm ever going to have. It's probably moving to Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If that doesn't work because I just can't do it, it'll be Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time instead. But I am going to try that Friday first. Now, all the whatever they call that out of the way. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're glad to be here.
Yes.
We woke up very early.
I just woke up 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, Cody's my cousin, so I don't really text him when I'm coming to his house. I just kind of walk
Show
in,
up.
and if he's asleep, I wake him up.
Yep. Don't mind though.
I've been doing that for like 4 years, and he's just not used to it.
I just eyes you like, really? You woke me up again? We're supposed to be on a stream. Oh, right. Okay, I'm not so angry now.
That was basically my mindset when I woke up. I was like, huh?
That was pretty much exactly what happened.
I was like, we'll be there at 9:30, and we showed up at 9:40, and he's passed out, and I was like,
Yeah.
wake up! Cody, wake up!
Like, huh?
Again, this is why the coffee stream is dying, because I think that is the problem I'm having. It's just no one's awake at this time. So.
Oh no!
But
I mean, I've been waking up early, but I wish I would stop waking up early.
You have to because you just got a job.
Yeah, I got a new job, and I go in kind of early. But I basically used to wake up at the time that I go into work now. So I've gotten into the routine of waking up at like 8 or 9 a.m. and I kind of hate that.
So,
It's really good, but it hurts my soul.
I always like morning shift.
Yeah.
No, it's night shift.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like noon to 9.
I work at 6 o'clock in the morning, my time.
Nice.
That's gross. I did that once, and I told my manager never again.
Oh, no, I love it because I'm off at 3 and I get to do whatever I want.
Reason why I like your shift.
Yeah, that's the...
Yeah, I work at 6. I'm off at 3. I have tons of time to do stuff. The only problem is I have to be in bed by 8. But
Go back to sleep so you can get up in the morning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'd literally come home and then clean. And then I'd I'd get drunk.
we do not condone alcohol, tobacco, or drug use on this live stream. Please be advised that this is just their opinions.
Yes.
I don't know if I need to say that. I'm just going to say that.
For legal reasons.
Yeah.
For legal reasons, we do not condone alcohol or smoking. We just have very special interests.
Viewer discretion is advised.
That's just my channel in general. I read horror stories. I'm not for children. If there are children on my watching my videos, please stop. I don't read stories for you. My stories are scary and sometimes very explicit about blood and gore. Sometimes even I go, ooh, that was too much for me.
I remember I had this account add me on Snapchat one day, like a year or so ago, and I didn't add them back, but I saw their message, and it was like, he had to be like 10 at fucking most, and it was this fucking kid like talking about like my music and shit, and he's like, oh my god, is this Papa Jake Snapchat? And I was like, you are fucking 10. Don't listen to my music. like thank you, but like your parents need to monitor what the hell you're listening to.
Kids are gonna listen to what kids are gonna listen to. When I remember what
Yeah.
songs I listened to as a kid, I'm just like, yeah, no, I shouldn't have been listening to that back then.
Yeah,
But I had
my
no
parents-
clue.
My parents were letting me watch True Blood when I was like 8, so yeah, I mean that's pretty rough. And now I watch it today, and I don't remember nearly having as many feelings as I did like as a kid about this show, especially like about the gore and stuff in it. I don't know if you've ever watched True Blood, but like I was just watching it last night, and there's a scene where one of the vampires like rips out somebody's throat, and I'm like, oh no, like, please. Spare me.
I should have been watching this. I really should have been watching this.
Right. And not only that, like, there's a lot of sexual content in that channel. Just, like, so much.
Vampires.
The scene where Jessica becomes a vampire is probably one of the...
Spoiler alert, I think. I don't know. I've never seen
True Blood.
I haven't seen True Blood.
You have seen True Blood?
I have not.
Oh, you have not.
Oh, it's a great show. Highly recommend.
It's on HBO Max. I just started it with her, and it's one of my favorite shows already. Like, it's a really good show.
Okay, look, I was watching Supernatural. They killed the monsters.
I love Supernatural. It's so good.
I'm about to disappoint everybody. That's one that I never got into.
I didn't get into
You
it.
didn't enjoy the hot boys? They were all over the screen. They were hot. I mean, what?
Oh, I rarely enjoy men anyway. Like, I watched True Blood for Jessica.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the girls did come in and out a lot. Like, they had... So the first season, they had this set up for an old fling for Dean and never touch it again. I'm like, I would have liked to know where you're going with that.
Yeah,
That would have
was
been
weird.
cool.
That was honestly a really weird episode.
I'm going to assume something happened with the actress or something, because they went through actors and actresses like they were candy. Originally it was only supposed to be 5 seasons, and knowing that and how fast it escalated, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, well, I mean, True Blood ended because the writers felt that they were hitting a wall. To me, that sounds like they probably were going through a bunch of actors and actresses and probably couldn't keep them due to scheduling conflicts, because there's been a lot of like well-known people on Supernatural.
Yes.
Sure,
So it was probably like that, and then once they finally got ideas and a place to go with the story, they were like, okay, let's ramp it up.
Well, I know the dad, when they killed him off, sorry, spoiler alerts, he was too busy, but they didn't leave on bad terms. Like, the actors, actually, all 3 of them have a tattoo that matches.
Oh, nice.
Shit, I was
Sorry,
trying to
Janelle.
think of something about True Blood, and I forget what I was gonna say.
Is it the fact that the blood is true? I know there's something about the blood being not real blood and you can drink it or something. Really?
Yeah, so it's like the premise of the show is vampires have quote unquote come out of the coffin, and now that's how they refer to it. Like, all the vampires being public is called coming out of the coffin, and then in Japan they made this like synthetic blood drink for them to be able to have without eating people. So they basically drink True Blood instead of drinking from people, unless people offer themselves up, like a consensual kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not even always the case. Like, there are still vampires that don't care about people and like don't empathize with them at all. But yeah, there's a lot going on, and then there's like a religious war happening with them and all kinds of stuff, because it's based in Louisiana, so it's like Bible Belt.
Oh yeah, and yeah, it's Louisiana, which means they all got Louisiana accents. I might enjoy that. I do like me some Louisiana.
Oh God, yes you will. Yes you will.
Well, the funny part is my husband's from Louisiana, so I do like Louisiana. Yeah, I am Canadian, but I married an American.
I love that southern drawl where they are hanging out on the end of their vowels, you know.
My favorite thing ever is, what you running from, Cher? Whenever you're running somewhere, it's just like, Cher, who's chasing you? It's just like no one runs there. Because they just have every like lady like, who are you running from, Cher? What you running from, Cher? Like, that's just all that happens. Just all the ladies come out and start yelling at you, and you can't run. You just people.
Oh my
that's
gosh.
going through my head.
I saw somewhere that if you're like if your nationality is anything that's other than American, that it's very easy to like tell when somebody's American in a different country because they'll say y'all and nobody fucking else says y'all.
This is
Nobody else.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, that makes so much sense. You just gave me an epiphany because I was in Berlin last year, and I was in this karaoke bar. I think it was called like Karaoke Ben's Ichiban Bar. It was this bar. It was a gay karaoke bar, and I was like having a good time. And this guy walked up to me, and he was like, "Where are you from? Like, you're obviously American." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm from like Appalachia area. Y'all probably don't really know where that's from." And he's like, "Oh, you are from Appalachia. You've got the accent." And like gave me this look, and I was like, "Huh?" Because I'm originally from Baltimore area. Keep in mind. So like, I guess that because I said y'all, he picked up on. I just found it really, really funny. That's all.
We get
That's
ours is the A, but everyone assumes
Oh,
we say
yeah,
like
it is,
after
isn't it?
every word. It's like no, it's like when you want to hyphen something. So it's like, you know, that mountain over there, eh? It's really huge. Like you don't use it for everything.
I was making fun of my friend Jacoby for that once.
Same,
And
eh?
then he was like, "Hey, watch your feet, eh?" And then I was like, I laughed at him right after that, and he faced good time.
But you don't think about it until you start talking to people from other countries. But we also get told that we're Americans. We're like, no. We're Canadian. We are the
A large
American
difference.
hat, and we are also bigger than them. And if we tried, we could throw enough snow at them, they would never know what to do. Look what happened to Texas.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
That is true.
we would just.
Ted Cruz would just vacation down south anyway.
I was gonna say we
Fair.
could just run to Cancun. We can just do what
We'll
he did.
just keep throwing the snow until you have nowhere to escape.
You
Well-
guys have like what are they called? Mounties, like the the
police,
guys
the
that like wear
RCMP.
the red and ride the horses.
Okay. Good morning, September Dragon Audio first. Okay, so we call them Mounties. They're called the RCMP, the Royal Mounted Police. They only wear the red suits. Those are their dress suits. So when you see them, you're normally seeing them in mourning and stuff. Like, so they're dressed to the nines to show like they're dressed, right? But that's not their average outfit at all. Not one bit. They look like normal cops, like completely. And not every, like most cities in Canada have their own police force. So
police.
so they're private, but a lot of those people, they do take RCMP because they have the best training in Canada and recruit from them. But the RCMP basically, so for all the rural like towns, they have RCMP, and the cities have their private police forces. And if there is a bigger like crime and stuff, they'll use the RCMP because they can reach more and see more. So the cops and the RCMP have to work together. But it's weird when you don't live here. But yeah, it's called the RCMP, the Royal Mounted Police. Royal Mounted RCMP.
Royal Mountain Police.
Hold on,
That's
I'm missing a letter for what it means.
I'm trying to like. That sounds.
That
That sounds Appalachian
Oh.
cryptidy to me.
Yeah, that does sound like a natural.
The Royal Canadian Mountain Police. That's what the C stands for. The Canadian part. Duh.
Oh my god.
They used to be on horses, so yes, that's why they're called mounted Mounties, but they're not anymore. They have cars. Like
I see.
Why? Bring the horses back.
they still have horses, but you're not gonna get very far with horses. I can speed past my horse very easily in my clunker. Good morning, room 66. Welcome. Sorry, I will be saying hi to the chat every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry.
We were confused for a second. We were like, room 66. Execute room
Yeah, I was about to say
66.
execute.
Hello everybody.
Hello.
We're happy that you're here and we value you.
Especially since it's the last coffee stream, guys. It's the last one.
It's the last one. We got to make it really special.
And we're really
Yes.
cool. We are really special. It will be special.
Just really cool.
We're so cool. Us trying to make ourselves feel better.
Apparently, Room 66 was just listening to the Canadian stuff, so he was enjoying it.
Nice.
Friggin' an
That's right.
idiot. What's a C stand for? Canadian. Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah. 242, you're an idiot. Okay.
With the police in our area, they're actually taking funds from the public school art program and putting it towards getting the police brand new SUVs that cost extra money to fix because they're specific SUVs.
Of course.
Cops.
Good
Dry.
morning, Lady Spookaria. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. But I was gonna say, all of our cops drive Ford Explorers. Okay? And you know what I learned about a Ford Explorer recently? You can't just change a headlight on a Ford Explorer.
So they're actually not Ford Explorers. They're Ford Interceptors. They're slightly different. They're the cop version. They're different.
Well,
I know too many things.
you can't even just like change the headlight bulb on one of those cars. You have to change the entire headlight, and that costs like $3,000. So they have those cars with bulletproof glass and headlights that cost $3,000 a change that we are essentially paying for.
Yep.
And when I was still in school, the art program was getting less and less and less money every year because the police were getting more equipment and like unnecessary equipment.
And this is part of the reason we made full-time president.
Yeah.
And New York, like I've personally never been to New York, but I have a lot of friends in New York and I've seen a lot of things. Like the police have like just normal police have like riot gear, like armored cars and like SWAT team vests and shit. And like heavy duty guns. And I'm thinking like a normal police force, why do they have to be like a half paramilitary force at that point?
Like so equipped.
Yeah, like normal police don't need like assault rifles.
No, they don't. But just in a lot of cases, you never know what a situation can.
But that's why you have SWAT teams.
Yep.
I was trying to explain this to Alex in the car, because like one of my best friends has a sister that, excuse me, is in the Metro Police Department of DC, and she was in the thick of like our insurrection a couple years ago. So she has severe PTSD and stuff, and I can only find myself sympathizing rather with her, because like if you were put in a situation like that where you're totally unprepared and your current president doesn't even have the balls to come and help you with like the National Guard, yeah, you're gonna want to be extra prepared, because that can happen again. You're in DC, you're in the Capitol.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. I think that's why.
But you're also a cop, and that was the wrong choice to make.
I think that's why like the National Guard and like SWAT teams and like special groups of police like that exist for those larger issues, and I feel like that's where the more heavier equipment would come in at. But like for like house visits or just like traffic stops, like I don't think you would need like a big gun and like an armored car.
No.
I'm
We
sure
also-
they've got procedures for everything.
We also have had our sheriff's department carry out SWAT missions, though, against like meth labs in the area. I mean, one of my friend's dads did it while I was still in high school.
See, I feel like that would require heavy equipment. Like that's.
Yes, but you can also consider the state of like somebody who's really, really badly into meth, and they're probably, well, okay, maybe I shouldn't say that, because we do know somebody who's very big and into meth, and when they have that rage, they can be very, dangerous. But
Don't do drugs, guys.
Don't
Drugs
do
are
drugs.
very bad, and they will ruin you.
except for the good ones. There are good drugs.
There-
Don't do anything that's white, and don't do anything in a powder.
Don't use a needle, and don't put anything in your nose.
Yes.
I'm just gonna say, don't do drugs, man. You're not good.
Yeah.
If you're gonna take drugs, talk to your doctor first. Get some information first. I also want to
Yes.
clarify: all political views are to the people specifically speaking them, and not always the same for everyone else. I'm not a political
Yes,
channel.
our views are just ours, and we are not trying to put them on anybody. We are just expressing our
And
Right.
views.
I did want to say that their song, A Full-Time President, is a political song, if you guys do want to listen to it. It's kind of a grunge-sounding song. Just to warn you, kind of reminds me of like the 90s grunge bands. So that is if you look on probably Spotify, iTunes, all that jazz, if you type in that or even just their name, you'll find it quite easily. So I'm not going to play it here just to be on the safe side because
yeah, we wouldn't want to get the stream restricted or
Yes.
anything.
It is explicit. I
It is
say
very
some
explicit.
choice words about Ronald DeSantis.
We say some very vulgar things about some people.
But we got mad and we made the song and we put it out and that's what we wanted to do, so we did it.
We felt like somebody needed to say something about the things that are happening here, and so we took that upon ourselves because we noticed nobody else was doing that.
At least as blunt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to give warnings in case anyone does want to check it out. You can just, yeah. I'm a rock head, so I like rock.
Yeah. Well, what kind of rock do you like?
Heavy metal.
Okay.
I'm a metalhead, 100% a metalhead. I told you what bands I was listening to before.
Yeah, like Avenged
That's true.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not super I like metal. I'm not super into it. I grew up on like your classic Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd and your I did go see Iron Maiden with my family when I was like 8 years old. That was a family affair. So my brother, my mom, and my dad and me all went together, so that was fun. But that's like about the extent of my metal tastes, I think, is like older metal, I think.
I'm just picturing little kids like in a mosh pit just rocking it out. That's what through my head. I know I'm pretty sure that's not what happened, but
I honestly, my brother tried to get me down there for the encore, and they wouldn't let me down there. They were like, "She's too small. She is gonna die."
Yes,
and we were like, "Okay."
Also, you wouldn't know the etiquette of the mosh pit. There's actually an etiquette to the mosh pit.
Yeah, so I've learned. I have a friend. She goes to a lot of punk shows, and she knows how to handle herself. I'll say that. She could probably kick my ass if she wanted to. But it's like, if you ever want to mosh, I'll teach you. You are going to definitely need somebody to pick you back up, but you definitely need to learn etiquette. And I was like, I might just stay out of that for my own safety, but thank you.
Well, the etiquette is do not push someone. And if you notice someone dropped, pick them up. Help them get up. A lot of people don't realize, you need to be mindful of the people around you. You still need to pay attention, because if someone drops, they can get stepped on and seriously hurt, and if really bad, could get killed, because the wrong hit can kill you. Because as much as the human body is amazing at keeping you alive, it's also very fragile at the same time.
I mean, think about the whole Astroworld catastrophe.
Oh,
I mean, that's a prime example of that right there. People getting trampled and dying.
Well, that was because they've actually done the math. There was too many people.
Yeah.
That you didn't have enough room for you. The square footage was
that's partially because people just started fucking running in there, breaking down barriers without tickets or anything. It was
also a lack of security. It was a snowball effect. So it was who the singer or whatever you want to call him, rapper was one of the problems. It was overstuffed.
He was promoting people to come in if they didn't have tickets.
Yes, and to hurt each other. He is all for people bleeding and hurting themselves, but do not get blood on him and do not hurt him. No, you hurt yourself.
Yeah, of course, because that makes sense.
Yes, exactly. We're not going to use that word. I was going to use a word, but I'm not going to use it. So it was just this snowball effect of too many people, a gentleman that was, or an asshat that was trying to get people to hurt themselves. It was a snowball effect. It was one thing left into another. He is 100% at fault, I believe.
You're right.
Because he's the one that incentivized all this, and people listen to people they idolize too, because that's how we know how parasocial relationships work. They're going to trust him and do what he says. It's not great.
This sounds a lot like a very recent government event that just happened to us that I was just referencing.
Yes, but that one's more political, and I don't need to deal with the people that are behind the other side of that.
Oh,
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want to
no,
deal with
I-
them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no. We were just discussing that because of my friend's sister being in the police force, so I was just
Oof.
bringing that back up. But yeah, that was a way different situation than just Travis Scott, that's for sure.
Yes.
And didn't Travis Scott like continue the concert and when the ambulances
Yes.
were trying to come?
Yes, he was
Yes.
just like watching people fall and
Yep.
continuing to do the
He-
robot.
That is
He was
so
being
horrible.
yelled at, told that people had fallen, that he needs to stop the show. If he had cut the music and went, hey, everyone stop, pick up people, which I have seen rock and metal bands go, hey, we're stopping the show until you pick up that guy right there. That's
Seen
how
pop
you do
artists
it.
do that.
Yes. Hey, that kid over there just fell. Pick them up. What's her name? Some guy was being bugged at her show and she stopped it. She's a pop artist. Starts with an A.
Oh. Ava Max, maybe?
No, she's British.
Hmm.
I can't remember her name right now, but she actually stopped the show and went, why are you bugging him? Leave him alone. Because he was standing at the show and everyone wanted him to sit down. Well, he paid for those seats. He's allowed to sit if he wants. Adele. Yes, it's Adele.
I was gonna say, I think I saw that. I think it was Adele.
Yes, Adele did it, and that's how you do those things. If you see a problem or someone brings a problem to your thing, and you stop your show, you go, hey, stop what you're doing. Hey, pick that person up. Stop bugging those people. We're all here to have a good time, and if you're not abiding by that, I'm not doing my show. Like,
Right.
this is
Well,
how
I
you do it properly.
I think that there is a responsibility upon artists with a big platform,
Yes.
especially if you're performing. All the attention is on you. So if you're noticing something, you don't just leave it for the other people to find. Like, you need to point that out and you need to get the word out because everybody's attention is on you. They're paying attention to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you say something, they're gonna notice that.
Right.
Exactly. They're all gonna go and look at like who's bugging who, or oh, there's a kid on the ground I didn't notice. Let's help them up, or whatever it is. Right? Yeah. All the attention is on them, so they might as well bring the attention to where the problem is and make it safe. I actually got to see the band Shinedown. It was really cool.
Ooh.
He actually came off stage because it was a smaller venue. And he actually walked to each corner and went, hey, stand up. I want you to sing. Like, he would, like, come into each section. He went past the mosh pit and everything. It was, like, I liked Shinedown before I saw that. I loved Shinedown after I saw that performance. Because it was just night and day. Amazing that he got off stage. He went and kind of talked to people. He was so down to earth. I mean, he has the very the lead singer's name is like the most normal name I've ever heard. His last name's Smith. It's like, okay, yeah, you're just an average dude. But it's those things that make your performances more memorable when you can make yourself more relate to people too. Like, hey, we're all here for a good time. I know I'm supposed to be the center of attention, but you paid to come see me. You paid to be here. Without you, I can't be here. And it's those bands that I really love. Like, the ones that go, like, if I didn't have my audience, I can't do this. Unlike some who think that they should be given everything, and I can think of a few like rappers and singers that believe that they should be given everything and that their fans are just lucky to be there. And I'm like, no, you're lucky to have fans. It's the opposite.
Yeah, that's like the worst mindset you could possibly have.
It's a privilege to be loved. It's not
right.
like, yeah, yes.
Yeah, like,
it's not a given.
I have
artists and
I was gonna say.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say I have over 1,000 subscribers. And I know that each one of them is a privilege to be a subscriber. Each one of them, not everyone, but everyone that watches my stuff is a privilege that they watch it. That I'm lucky that I have people listening to these stories that I narrate and people showing up to these live streams that I talk in. That's a privilege even to me. I'm a very small platform, but it's knowing that that's a privilege. It's not a right. Tomorrow I could lose all my subscribers and be done, and no one's listening to me anymore. And that's a possibility. It's we all have to be humbled in where we are and understand some things are privileges. The only right you have is food, water. You should always have a roof over your head and someone to be emotionally there for you. These are the things that I think every human has a right to. The rest is extra. Like,
yeah. And a lot of people here will debate with you on like 4 of those out of the 5 that you mentioned.
Yeah.
fuck even
And
air
that's-
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Right.
I mean, well, if we would take into account big gas companies, technically, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the problem with living in Canada. I know more about American politics than I knew about Canadian politics, which is really bad. I've been actually trying to force
really?
myself to learn more about Canadian politics because that's actually what affects me. But at the same time, American politics bleed into Canada, and they always have.
Well,
So-
and we are always on display. I mean, we televise our debates constantly. We promote them. Our
Yes.
politicians promote themselves. Like,
Yes.
that's just how they work.
It's like Peacock.
It's more
Look at
like
me. Look at
entertainment
me.
than it is.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it seems like more of an entertainment thing sometimes just because of the stupidity.
Yeah.
Of everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the debates that we've had in like 2016, 2020.
It's just everybody there doesn't make sense, and they all sound stupid.
They're all making broken promises.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
issue. And
that's politics.
That's
That's just politics. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Every country you go to that's a democracy, broken promises. I will do A, B, and C. I only do A, if you're lucky.
right. Right.
So that's just a politician thing. It's just, I'm going to promise this and this, and then they find out they actually going to do this. And sometimes it's a red rope problem where they can't, they want to do those things, but the rest, the things they have to get through won't let them, which happens,
yeah.
sadly.
Oh yeah, no doubt. There are also, I mean, for example, our president, like Joe Biden, he wasn't going to, like approve the Willow Project, or he said that he was dedicated to not basically heightening the climate change crisis, and he approved a project that will heighten that crisis. Like, that's it's so frustrating.
Counterintuitive.
That's just like a whole different. The climate crisis with everything is just such a battle too, because there's a whole side
We're not
of
having
people.
luck here either with that. too.
Yeah, no, it's such a. I don't understand. I just don't understand how people will look at scientific evidence and they're like, "That's wrong. I am a scientist and you are
okay.
wrong."
So
I
there's nuance to it. So they've okay, look, I watch a lot of shit. Let's get that out of the way.
Fair enough. So do
Um,
I.
So a lot of people who are conspiracy theorists will do the whole bias info. So they want to be special. So like flat earthers, let's just use them as a thing. Okay, there's lots of proof that the earth is not flat. There is a couple things that maybe indicate that it's flat, but mostly it's very well known that it's not flat. It's round. We know it's round. We have pictures that it's round. It's actually a little oval because it kind of gets a little squished in the middle, but that's just because how gravity works. But they're special. They believe the earth's flat. No one else knows this, so we're special. And that's kind of, it feeds into our need to be in an in-group, to be special, to be unique in some way. So yeah. And finally believing that the earth is round is scary. It will get you outside this in-group that you're in and kick you out, and now you don't know where you're going to be. And it is this feeding thing. So sometimes you have to, as much as you want to just shake them going, that's not true, you also have to go the psychological route where it's like, why do they believe it this way? Why are they scared to fully accept the truth? Why?
Probably shatter their own reality.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's scary to shatter your own reality. I've done it before where I thought
Right.
A, B, and C was true and realized that B was wrong, so C is not right either.
Right. And I mean, if we take into account the fact that, like, sorry, I started that off wrong.
You're gonna start.
I understand exactly what you're saying, but how far are those people willing to go before it starts hurting their health?
Quite far.
Like, and I guess pretty far.
Yes, quite
But-
far.
Yeah.
Because it's an emotional response. It's an emotional need. So doing these things will shatter their world. And the problem is with the climate change, there's religion also playing a part in it
right.
as well.
Right.
So there are people that believe destroying the earth will bring the end days. That's what we need to bring the end days. Well,
That's just like telling a kid, Santa Claus isn't real. I mean,
we
No,
don't say
it's
that
not.
here.
No.
We don't say that here. Shush, shush, shush. Well, then again, no kid should be listening to this.
No.
Go, go.
Go away. This is not a stream for kids. It's for adults and older teens. It's.
Hey. Oh, sorry.
I'm
Didn't
just
interrupt you.
saying that it's hard when you don't realize that so many things are intertwined with our emotions, our beliefs, all these things. There's people that really want the end days to come because they believe a paradise is coming, or we'll all get to go to heaven and all the bad people will go away. And it's just this desire to just see the end. And I completely get the desire to just want this to all be over. During COVID, which we now can say, I just want things to be done. Like, I just didn't
Right.
want to do
Yeah.
this anymore. And if someone just said, okay, the world's over, I'd be like, yay, I'm done. And I can understand that desire to want it just to be over and be done with it. But the problem is, this is where I come to it. I'm like, what if you're wrong? What if nothing will step in to fix this? What if this is all we have? Why don't we protect it anyway?
Well, I'm indigenous, so I've grown up thinking, and believing this is my only home. This is where I'm meant to be. This is where I came from. I grew out of the soil. I will be reclaimed by it. So therefore, it makes sense to me to take care of it and stop letting it just tumble into this descent of fire that it's going into.
Yes.
And so when I hear that, in my mind, I'm like, how selfish of you. But I
Yes.
can't say that because that's their religious belief.
But
So
it's
I have to sit here and I have to like battle with
but
it in my brain.
No. It can still be the religious belief, but still be selfish. Just because it's a
that's
religious
true.
belief does not mean you can respect the person, but doesn't mean you have to respect their beliefs. And that's the
true.
problem we have. You have to respect my belief. No, I have to respect you in some way. I do not have to respect your belief. I should respect you and that is your belief, but I do not need to respect that belief. And that's the
Right.
difference we need to have nowadays. I respect that we all should try to fix this goddamn planet we're all stuck on and live on, and that has taken care of us for a very long time. And this is, if you go and look at the Bible, it said to take care of this planet.
Right.
We're not doing that. You're already breaking your goddamn tenets right there. You can just take that alone.
It's only getting worse because with this new conflict in Israel and Palestine, all of the people who say they read the Bible rather, are like, they said the last war wasn't gonna be in America, it's gonna be in Israel, and it's happening now. Like that's what's happening, and I'm just like, please.
Okay, but
Everybody has nukes. Can we just like not do this?
Yeah, please don't. Everyone has nukes. Please don't. We don't need nukes.
Yeah,
We do
we're
not
to
need
live.
nuclear weapons. Yeah, I know exactly.
Right.
Like it's
Ooh.
we've ever since World War II. It's we all have nukes. Fuck off. Just stop. Stop. We all have nukes.
Right.
Please stop. We do not need to
Right.
destroy our planet. We have this one. We don't know how to get to Mars. Please stop.
No, exactly. Well, in addition to that, isn't it like a thing now by the end of 2034? Didn't they say they're going to colonize the moon? They're going to start putting neighborhoods on the moon. And how ugly is it going to be for me to see your nasty mansion on the moon when I'm just trying to admire her?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
Ruin the moon.
it's gonna be finished by like the mid 2030s, and NASA's doing 3 missions. The first one is like a flyover to like see where they want to land it. The second one's going to be sending supplies up there, and the third one's going to be like a manned mission. And what they're going to do is they're going to build a permanent settlement on the moon, basically. And they say it's because in the event that the Earth would die and humanity would die out, there would still be people on the moon to continue humanity and to prove that humanity existed.
Yeah, but it's only gonna be rich people, and that's the condition, and that's where we're at right now.
Is it supposed to be rich people, or is it going to be scientists? Because
It's
NASA's...
probably gonna be rich people. I mean, at least with our country, because that's nobody.
So the
at
problem...
first it's going to be scientists, and then eventually
It'll be rich
the
people.
settlement will grow to people going there.
It's going to be scientists for sure, and at first, because they're going to need scientists up there to make things running. Scientists, engineers, the average Joe needs to be up there too to keep it running, because rich people don't know what they're doing. They need the average
that's
Joe.
what I'm saying. Is unfortunately we have a culture of respecting rich people who have the ability to buy things to get things done, rather than people who have knowledge to get things done.
Yeah.
At least that's how I feel currently in our country. That's what I feel like we're at a standstill at.
NASA always has been a bit weird, though. Like, NASA's different, so the fact that NASA is part of it, as much as NASA's not perfect, NASA will know that they're going to need scientists, engineers, people there that can keep it running and working, because
That's true.
If you put the rich people up there, they'll be dead within a couple of years if things start breaking down, because there'll be no one there to fix it. So it's a balance, right, of all things. So as much as we don't really need rich people, if you want to live there, you're going to need your scientists, your engineers, your HVAC, your tradesmen, all those things to keep it running. Because without them, especially since there's no Atmo, you're kind of hooped. You can't just start from scratch because there's no Atmo up there to just live.
I don't know. I don't want to go to the moon. There's frogs on this planet, and there's not frogs on the moon, and that's enough for me to stay here.
I'm just not a big fan of traveling in space.
Yeah, that too.
I have problems with airplanes sometimes, and they're a lot more safe. I've seen what's happened with the space stuff. I'm good.
Watching the Challenger literally blow to pieces was enough.
My dad watched it live.
Oh,
yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah, he said it was devastating when he watched it. Like, well, because there was a teacher on it. It was the first time they put someone on it that wasn't an astronaut, and there was some kind of failure in like tons of kids were watching it because a teacher's going into space. It's so cool. And
I think that like her whole class was watching.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think her entire class.
Yeah, a bunch of classes were.
Yeah.
Well, our teachers are going to space. It's so cool. In an alternate reality, it was Big Bird that died because they were going to put Big Bird. They just couldn't get him to fit.
Do you think that Sesame Street would have brought him back?
No, he died. Okay, so Sesame Street is, Big Bird is the guy who wears a suit. He's always played Big Bird.
Oh, okay.
It is the same guy, but Sesame Street has dealt with death before. It's not the first time they would have dealt with it. They had someone die, an actor or actress die.
Sesame Street's been on for like 40 years, and I've been alive for half of that, so I don't think that I would remember that probably. You know what I mean? So
more
I
than 40, dude. It's been more than 40.
Something like, yeah.
I think it was more, in 1969.
Oh, really? Yeah, probably.
It's old. Sesame.
And for the Mars missions in like the 2030s or 40s, tickets are already going out for people who want to go there and be the first people to help set up cities or whatever there. And each ticket is like $200 million.
Oof.
And so only rich people will be able to afford that.
Right.
That's almost $250 million.
But then again, let's be real here. It is Elon Musk setting up those prices.
Yeah.
Because it's SpaceX that's
Elon
doing
Musk
that.
is Oh, I have a lot of words for Elon
We're not
Musk.
bringing him up. That boy has too many fingers and too many pies.
He a funny guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He a
And yes,
funny guy.
Sesame Street was started in 1969. It's 54 years old.
Oh wow.
Woo!
It's been around for a long
Wow.
time.
Yeah.
I thought it started in the 70s. I was.
Well, you're
okay.
close.
was
You're
gonna
very close. 69 is literally 1 year from the 70s. I'm
Right.
gonna say it's close enough. But yeah, I just
Right.
remember because it's 69.
You're on point.
Come on. Who doesn't remember the words? Who doesn't remember this?
I love Sesame Street.
My Cody and I's grandma, she to this day watches Days of Our Lives,
God.
and
Anymore.
not
No,
anymore.
No, she quit.
Oh my God,
Well, I thought Days of Our Lives ended, didn't it?
no,
No.
it's still going.
It's still-
yeah.
They took it on the air, right? And they put it on a streaming platform.
So
So she had to go on the streaming platform to watch it, and it pissed her off. So she's like, "I'm done."
That's so funny.
Yep, it is
She's like,
still
"No, no, I
going,
don't
and it has been going since 1965.
Oh,
59 seasons. That's
how
crazy.
many years has it been since 1959?
1965.
And she-
60 years.
Since she was
Wow.
a kid.
Yeah.
shy.
Well, my
That's just.
mom's
insane.
also been watching like Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful since she was a kid, and they've been on since her grandparents were kids. I thought.
That's crazy.
I
never-
don't know.
never
Young
got
and the
it,
Restless came out when my mom was like a baby.
How long was Phantom of the Opera on Broadway for? Because I believe it was the longest running Broadway show.
It still comes on every once in a while too, though.
What, Phantom of the Opera?
Oh yeah, they bring it back every once in a while. It's
No,
not.
I didn't-
It's not always going, but yeah, they have brought it back. It's not.
I remember that it it was going for like a really long time, and they announced the end of it. I didn't know they brought it back though.
First premiered in 1986. It's been
Oh, so
turned
that's-
into 2 movies.
Almost 40 years ago.
Oh wow! So it said, "Phantom of the Opera
Not
takes
40.
its final Broadway bow after 13,981 performances." And the final performance of Phantom, was at the Majestic Theater in New York City, April of this year.
Wow.
It is 37 years. Thank you very much.
37. Wow. Oh my God.
14,000 Broadway. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the people who were doing it really made buying.
Practice.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I
It's
mean,
a
they're some of the
stage
best performers in the world, though, I would say. I personally would say, because Phantom of the Opera musically is crazy.
Mhm. I mean, I see why it was on for so long. It's amazing.
Yeah,
I personally
the movies were never very good. They're not as good as the actual.
I can only see Fiona from Shameless when I watched the Phantom of the Opera movie with isn't her name Emmy Rossum? Is that her name?
Emmy Rossum.
Yeah.
Mm.
What? Okay. So, are you into like Broadway and musicals?
Who are you asking? Me?
You. Yeah.
No. One of my roommates is. He won't stop
Oh.
singing some of them.
I was gonna say I love Broadway. Like I love Hamilton. I get annoying because of how much I like Hamilton.
I was in theater as a high school kid, but I was in like 3 plays and I was a lead in one of them. And that was it. And I kind of it's kind of a bad look because it was Sister Act and the main character and like the whole show is about kind of being black, and we
Yeah.
took out like all the black jokes, and I was
Oh no!
just a white woman
really?
playing Dolores. Yeah.
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't
but we-
work that way.
But-
Don't.
In my theater teacher's defense, because if anybody's at fault, it's gonna be her. In her
Yeah.
defense, we have like 3 people of color in that school a year
Fair.
because we're in such
Then-
deep Appalachia.
Then she should have picked something else.
And that's what I'm saying. That's the whole thing. It was a fun show. It ended up being good, and it ended up being like non-offensive, I think, as best as it could be. However, it did take away a lot from like I
Well,
feel like
yeah,
that was
'cause
meant to
it-
be a show.
Yeah,
For
because Whoopi
people of color.
Goldberg was the friggin' main character in Sister Act.
Right.
It was friggin' amazing. I watched that movie a lot as a kid. It was
Yeah.
good.
the musical is really good too. It's basically the same thing, except it's a
Got
musical.
music.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Except they break into song randomly.
Yes. And then
that's how
fine.
I put musicals. Regular movies will have songs every once in a while. Maybe sometimes they will sing. Musicals will break into song randomly when they just feel like it.
I feel like the Barbie movie should be considered a musical because it didn't have that many musical numbers, but Margot Robbie singing in the car, and then Margot Robbie and America Ferrera and her kid are all singing in the car. Like, they don't randomly break out in a song except for Ken. But
Yeah,
that's
Ken.
that movie's a musical, and I will stand by that. I'll die on this hill.
I would say so.
There might be specific things that make a movie a musical, and that I just don't know the rules of.
I don't either. I just work here, man.
Let me add this in. Is that one show that I can't stand that always breaks into song is Riverdale, and it's such an unpopular opinion. But when I first started to watch Riverdale, I was like, I like this show. It's good. It's all right. Like, I'm interested in it. And then, like, I think in like the 4th or 5th season, like every 5 minutes, a different character is breaking in the song, and I'm like, why can everybody in this high school sing?
It's not High School Musical.
Riverdale is also I've never liked Riverdale. I'm sorry. But I dropped out in the 4th grade to sell drugs to support me and my grandma. You don't know the highs and lows of the high school
High school football.
So apparently musical theater is a combo of 4 essentials: song, spoken lyrics, acting, and dancing. Yeah, so Barbie's a musical.
Barbie's a musical.
Yeah.
Barbicles, they do all of those things.
Yeah. So therefore, you're right.
A musical movie. Those are things.
Yeah.
A movie musical.
I would
yeah.
imagine that's like its own
Yeah.
genre.
Oh no, musical movies are a thing too. The Sound
Grease.
of
What?
Grease is one.
The Sound of Music,
The
absolutely.
Sound Music is one, and yeah, there's a few.
Just Les
It
Mis.
used
I
Mary
guess that Les
Poppins
Mis
was a
is.
musical.
Mary Poppins, yeah.
And Les Mis was also a musical. Les Mis.
Yes.
Look, I'm Canadian, but I still can't speak French.
Les Miserables.
Les Miserables. Yes, I threw in that French
Bella's
accent.
actually been to France.
Yeah, I have.
I've been to French class. Many times.
I went to Europe last year, and France was my last stop, and I could do without going to Paris again. Paris is like, I feel like Paris is a one-time thing. You go, and it's, you know what turned me off from Paris? Okay, first of all,
Was it the
you
guy
can't
named
go to a
Joe?
restaurant without everybody smoking a cigarette. I just can't stand that.
Oh,
I hate
no.
cigarettes.
Yeah, no.
And yeah, I think it's me. But you can't go to a restaurant without smoking cigarettes, or like without smelling a cigarette. It stinks in the subway so bad. Oh, it's so bad. Like, you walk down in there, and if it's hot, you just get hit with like hot piss air.
Yeah.
And there are signs everywhere. I don't speak French, but they basically say "stop the rats" in French, and are encouraging you to like stomp rats to death. And on my last day, like a few blocks from the Notre Dame, there was a rat with a big old footprint boot mark in it, stomped to death on the sidewalk. And I was like, I could go without being here ever again.
Plus, I've heard from pretty much everybody that I've ever met that lived in Paris or has visited Paris. It says that it reeks of pee, like
Yeah.
really bad.
I mean, I got used to it because I was there for like a week. So like after a couple days, you don't really, notice it. But it's really bad in the subway for sure.
It's like the New York of Europe.
Yeah, exactly. I think that there are a lot of better places you can spend rather than Paris.
Yeah, no, I would probably, if I was going to Europe, I'd probably want to see the UK. Like, I'd actually want to go to Britain, Wales,
I
Ireland,
almost went
and
there.
Scotland.
Scotland is definitely on my bucket list. Scotland's beautiful, but like,
I personally want to go to Ireland because I know I'm Irish, and that's the only heritage I know for sure. So,
I know I'm Irish as well, so like I would like to visit Ireland at some point, and Sicily. I'm Sicilian. So,
Remember, you gotta talk with your hands. If you're Italian, you must talk with your hands. You can't
Oh,
see,
I
but I'm
do,
talking with
believe
my
me.
hands.
you can't see me either, but usually that is
I'm
the case.
talking with my hands.
A bop and a boopy, you know what I mean? But I wanted to go to the UK, but it was really expensive to fly out of
Yes.
Heathrow. I flew into Vienna, Austria, and well, I technically flew into the Netherlands and then took a plane from Amsterdam to Austria.
Dude,
And I
Did you
loved
not go to
Vienna.
Amsterdam?
Vienna was great. Highly recommend. Loved all the food. Loved all the culture. It was amazing. But flying out of Heathrow was like an extra $1,000 versus flying out of Paris.
ugh, yeah.
So I know we wanted to, but we thought that like we might as well just go to UK and do other countries like in the UK
Yeah.
than just hit that on the way out.
Evolence, I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say A. Said the UK is a weird place to be at the moment. And welcome. I cannot pronounce your name, and I'm gonna just blame my dyslexia for that one.
The
There's
UK
two-
is a weird place to be at the moment. I don't know what's going on in the UK politically or anything.
I see how
So
the politics in most countries. I mean, I try to say the politics in my own country, so.
right. I mean,
I'm
I know
telling
that like didn't they just get a new prime minister and didn't she resign and didn't they just get a new one?
Yeah, it was Liz Truss. She lasted like a month.
Yeah, I heard
Ah.
about that. She had like just got her platform together because apparently their platforms are special. Each one of them gets their own platform, and she resigned from what I heard, and now they got a new one. And I'm like, okay, I don't understand what's going on. But I do know that their system is just like our system because our system's based off of their system. So I is the leader of the party. So they keep switching the leader of the party. So the leader of the party stepped down. So they got a new leader of the party. It's fascist coming back, and yes, we're on the fourth tone.
Yeah,
Crony
I saw that the new prime minister is like transphobic as hell.
What? Really?
Yeah, saying something about like basically that trans people will always be their cisgender and that you can't switch or some shit.
That's really funny because in my culture that was around before your colonialist bullshit, we did revere the trans people. So
That's what the 2 stands for in the LGBT.
mm,
The 2 is for two soul, I think. It's
Two Spirit.
Two spirit. That's what it is.
Yeah, anti-immigrant and anti-trans rhetoric is awful here.
Yeah,
Oof.
yeah. I mean, it's really bad here too. It's really, 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 really bad in the U.S. Don't go to Florida.
Yeah, fascism
No,
is
it's
coming
serious.
back here too, really bad.
Yeah. No,
And there's
the worst part is I was
the,
born and moved to Florida. That was...
the NAACP issued a travel warning for all LGBTQ plus people to Florida because the governor.
Black and
Oh,
Jewish
yeah.
people
Yeah,
too.
yeah, black and Jewish people because the governor is, to put it bluntly, a fascist, and he's made so many policies that are directly targeting minorities to hurt them and like their education.
What? I mean, I have a lot of things that bother me about him, but what bothers me the most is that he is actively doing things to like
hurt people.
fuck the power balance of. Yeah, I mean, he wants to remain governor if he becomes president of the United States.
That's not how that works.
Right.
And he's trying to change like basically the law there and here so that he can remain governor while still being president.
That's not how that works.
And-
that's
Yeah.
No, one is higher than the other, and no, that's not how any of this works.
Yeah, I have very strong opinions about that man.
What are we talking?
Mr. Ron
DeSanctimonious.
DeSanctimonious. Ron DeSanctimonious needs a personality transplant, but unfortunately those are not available.
Why was that so spot on?
Oh.
I just don't understand how people get to such high levels of power and choose to do bad with it.
I do.
Like you can make, I mean, like
Absolute power
I get it.
corrupts
like,
absolutely.
Like I understand, like because they're
Also,
bad people.
well, and it's also a lot of people who are seeking power want it to use it in a bad way. They want to flaunt it and show I have this power and I'm going
It's
to
like
do
control.
this. And that
It's
this
basic
is
control.
and this is
Basic
what
control.
happens with cops too. A lot of cops, they become cops because they want the power, they want the influence of people, they want to be able to ruin someone. That's what they want to do. Not all are like that, but those type of jobs. Same thing with doctors too. That they want this flaunt, they want this power over you, and it draws in those people that don't want it for good reason. It also draws in the people that want it for good reasons too. But the problem is you do both, and you need to have a way to figure out who are the people that want to use it in a good way, that want to help their communities or their people, and those who just want to use it and abuse it. There needs to be a check and balance to realize you're going to abuse it, you're going to use it right, you're not getting the job, you are.
Is everybody here familiar with the Stanford prison experiment?
You mean the piece of shit that wasn't an experiment, because that's not what he was experimenting on?
I mean, it was. I don't know if I'm picking up on. Sorry, I'm autistic. I don't know if I'm picking up on the same thing that you're trying to explain.
Let's also clarify, she's not making a joke about being autistic.
No,
she's
I'm actually
genuinely
autistic.
I assumed she wasn't being. I wasn't joking about me being dyslexic either.
Oh, okay.
I actually am
I just wanted to
dyslexic.
be clear, because I didn't want anybody to think we were joking about
No,
being
I
Right,
assumed
no.
she was being truthful about that. Same thing with my dyslexia, which is really funny because I'm a
Right.
narrator. But
So basically, the Stanford prison experiment was they had prisoners and they had regular people, and basically you were either a prisoner or you were a cop.
Mhm.
And all of those
Prison
people
guard.
that were put into positions of authority as a prison guard, yes, were they abused their power.
okay, but hold
Completely.
on. Okay, we have to stop right there. There are a few things you're missing here. He put an ad in the newspaper saying that it was a prison experiment, that he wanted people from this time to this time, which would have got him college students who knew it was a prison
Yes.
experiment. He was part of the experiment because he was the warden. He was telling these guards that they needed to be more extreme, to be more, because it was actually an experiment about losing your visuality in prison.
Yes,
That was the
yes.
original presence. Then he came out and went, no, we actually were just confused by why these average Joes became so terrible. He completely changed it. It was unethical. They have done the experiment again, doing it properly, and did not get the same results. It is not a proper experiment. That's why I say the facade, it wasn't right. The variables were set up too poorly.
You're absolutely correct. I thank you for adding the context, because it's been a long time since I've taken a psychology class that went into depth about that, but you're completely right. He did set it up in a way, because I mean that experiment is what also set up guidelines as far as ethical.
And we need to change that, because
Yes.
the problem is, same with prison guards, same thing, they have power over people. You're going to draw in the people who like to hurt people, that like to have power over people. You need to figure out how to find out who those people are, take them the frig out, and then find the people that want to just keep them in line, who want to help people. I actually work with someone who's an ex-prison guard, and he's one of the people that wanted to help people. He'd have people coming off of drugs, and he'd be like, okay, this is going to be really, really difficult, but what we're going to do is we're going to watch you 24/7. Here's a bucket for you to puke into. We're going to keep guard on you. If you really want to get off these drugs, we can help you do that. He said out of all the people he helped, only one ever stayed off the drugs afterwards. Because it's so difficult, because normally why you're on these drugs is because you're escaping from things, and now you've got to also face what you were escaping on top of trying to get off the gosh darn drugs. So he told me about it. It was heartbreaking to hear what this, like, he said it was like a 16 or 17-year-old that was in jail, or early 20s. And it was just heartbreaking hearing like how his body, just how bad it was. And I think he said he had some meds that he was able to help him get a little better, because hard drugs are also very dangerous to get off of if you aren't being watched. And it's not easy in prison, because most of the guards don't give a shit about you. You're on drugs, whatever. You're in prison. You're where you belong. Just deal with it. But he had a heart. He doesn't do it anymore, but it's... And this, of course, was in the Canadian system, not the American system, so... But...
Right. It's almost like... I don't want to think of it as, like, you are signing up to be a parent when you're in that situation, but you kind of are, and you're either a good parent.
Well, you're a parent. You need to be watching after these, but you also have to keep your eye on them because they're also in prison for a reason. Sometimes it's really good reasons why they're in prison. Sometimes it's not because the guy was on drugs and got caught and whatever, was stealing because of those drugs. But there's also people who are murderers and all those things. Those people, you need to keep them away. But the people that just need help, that just need a leg to stand on, are the ones you should be helping. The whole point of our criminal system is supposed to take these people in and rehabilitate them. Some you can't. Some are just should just be in prison for the rest of life.
Some people have genuine psychopathy, and some of those people can be helped and some can't. Like, I've seen true psychopaths that live a normal life and have been through years and years of therapy and coping mechanisms that know how to handle themselves. And then there are psychopaths that cannot get out of their own head and are so...
They think they're above everything and won't ever get caught.
Right, exactly.
It's almost like mental health is part of health.
Huh.
It's almost like your brain is an organ, and then when it gets sick, it makes you sick.
Yes, exactly. And some of us are programmed to be certain things. Like, I have depression, so I have these very depressing moments. Like, but I also take meds for that. I have a psychologist or a therapist for that as well to help me through these things. It's nothing I've done. It is a chemical imbalance that I have, genetically speaking. There's nothing that I can do to ever make it, in quotes, better, but there are coping mechanisms, and a lot that I have figured out on my own before I ever saw a therapist, because I grew up in an age where depression isn't talked about. You're fine. You're just sad. It's like, no, this is different. Being sad and depression, you can be depressed and not have depression, but when it's something that's always a cycle, and you have problems even getting out of bed, and showering is even too much, and people don't realize that sometimes self-care is so much energy, and when you don't even have the energy to get out of that bed, how do you have the energy to take care of the rest of you? So
I'll get hella deep for a second. My dad was recently murdered. And I have gotten a lot of people who don't know about the situation happening and could walk up to me in public and they'll see, because I'm not clearly happy most of the time. Like, I'm pretty,
That's fair.
Grief changes you and changes your face very often.
Especially a sudden death, and murder is horrible, and I'm very sorry for your loss. And someone else said sorry for your loss as well.
Thank you, I appreciate that. But essentially, people will walk up to me that don't know the situation, and they'll be like, "Oh, why are you so sad? Why the long face? Haha." And I get like, "Huh, you have no idea." Like, you have no idea. And then people will do that to, like, don't do that to anybody. The idea that depression and anxiety, or even the smallest of things, are something to, why the long face about, joke about, that, one day you're gonna fuck up and you're gonna end up talking to somebody like me who goes, "Oh yeah, well, my dad got murdered, did yours?" You know what I mean? Yeah. So stuff like that's happened quite a few times, because it's really difficult for me to be going back to work lately, but I have to, because I have to make money and I have to continue to support myself, because what do? You have to.
Yeah, exactly. And you only have so much leave.
Right.
If and then you have leave.
Right. And I messed up on making somebody's drinks a couple weeks ago, and they probably didn't mean anything by it, but they were joking with their friend, and they were regulars. I knew them at my place of work, and somebody walked up after, and he was like, "Man, they said you messed up their drinks. What's going on?" And I was like, "Whew, did your dad get murdered last month?" And he just kind of like,
sorry,
completely deflated.
I pictured the interaction there. That's why I laughed. Just like the person going, I'm just gonna take this foot. I'm gonna put it in my mouth.
That's pretty much what happened. And then, like, here's your drink. Yeah. Bye. Don't say anything else, please. Like,
it's a big.
But okay, but I can also, I'm not sure what their tone was, but they could have also been meant that as an actual, like, hey, you messed up the drink. Is everything okay? Or
Oh no, yeah, and like, I mean, it was playful for the most part,
Yeah.
but I still,
still was
to
wrong.
most people who don't pick up on it, I'm the girl whose dad got murdered in town right now.
Yeah.
So it's, at some point, you just kind of want to let everybody know who doesn't know, so then they leave you alone.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Or at
But-
least they go, how you hanging on? Do you
Right,
need anything?
right.
Yeah. Stuff like sudden deaths are very, even when you can see it coming, death is just difficult in general. And then having someone you love murdered is absolutely devastating, I'm pretty sure.
Well, the worst part, we don't know who did it. We don't know anything, really. So, like, we're almost 2 months into this investigation, and we don't really have much.
well, you don't.
Well, I don't. The police have
can
been keeping
only-
in touch with us, and they've been doing everything that they can.
Yeah.
However, we just don't know. Like,
You
don't know
won't
anything.
fully know until they have their evidence to go, because legal. So they have to be careful what they tell you.
Right, exactly.
I'm very
But they-
into true
They
crime.
have been very open and working with us anyway. But you're exactly right. There's only so much that they can say.
Because they don't want to tell you, okay, we think A, B, or C did it, and then you go after them, or that gets out. And now they've
Right.
got a problem. A, B, and C can friggin' leave town, and now they gotta track them down. So they can tell you so much, like, hey, we're investigating, we're doing the best we can. Maybe that they have some leads, but they can't tell you. There's a certain amount, and the same thing with, like, when they tell the news too. They can only tell so much because they want the person who did it to only know certain things. So, like, the fact that the person, like, how many stab or shots or whatever, or certain things, like, they want to know. There's certain details that they want the person who did it, to only know, because if it gets out, you get people who actually confess to crimes for no reason, and they want to
Right.
make sure they can get those people out, going, no, you didn't actually do this. Let's not, like, because you don't want to send the wrong person, one, to jail, and two, you want to get the right person. So
Exactly.
it's very, it's got to be very hard, because you know that logically you want to know everything, but you also know that you need to not know things until further get along. And crime, it's hard, because there's certain things that they have to be able to get pieces together, and sometimes the pieces
Right.
aren't there either, which
Well, I mean,
really
and we're
fucking
in-
sucks.
We're in fucking remote Appalachia. Like, he pretty much died on the Maryland-West Virginia line, on the very western side. So, like, there's only a select few amount of people who live back there. So it's even more frustrating to me. Like, so it's gotta be one of them back there. Why haven't they just talked to everybody back there? But they can't, because I know that they can't. You know what I mean? So frustrating.
Red tape, lots of red tape. That's the word I was trying
Right.
to say, not red rope, red tape.
Yes.
Earlier. Actually, well, the one thing I can bring to this table for my own loss is actually my sister committed suicide when I was very young as well. So I understand the sudden death. She took her own life, and we know who the person who did it, but I understand the sudden death, the sudden loss, the wanting answers, and I'm never fully going to get the answer of why things happened, but just the understanding, the, like, devastation of it, the devastation to your family, to the devastation of you, and just not wanting to talk to people about it, and just wanting to just zone out even, and not
Right.
deal with anything. You just want to do your job, you want to be there, you don't want to talk to anyone, but you also need to remember to reach out to people as well when you do need someone
Right.
to talk to. That's very
Well, my
important.
My point of bringing that up is, just like Alex said, and just like we've been talking about, is I'm very sick in my head right now, and I can't always keep going physically because of that. It's very difficult for me. I mean, I have wonderful people at my current job who are extremely understanding, but I hate leaving them hanging, and I hate, like, calling off work because I'm mentally sick. Like, and it's so frustrating because I try not to get on myself, and I don't feel like anybody should get on themselves about that. But at some point, like, I know it's got to be frustrating to not have that extra help there. And I try to just do my best to keep going. It's just hard. It is hard.
It's a
And I
balancing
feel
point.
like I've experienced such a great trauma, and that's valid. But I feel like anybody who's going through anything similar should be able to have that relief of not having to feel responsible or guilty for
Needing
their
your
sickness.
time, needing your time to get better, to deal with what's going on.
Right, yeah.
This is either way difficult, but yeah, the best thing is not to be mad at yourself. You are going through stuff. You're going to have harder days than other days, and try to sometimes forgive yourself for things too. If some days you just can't get out of bed, you can't get out of bed. Some days just getting out and just getting yourself something to eat is all you can do, or shower. Like, self-care is also good. So like, having small things you know will bring some joy to you around you can help too, and having people that you can call or text to go, hey, I really need someone right now. Can just someone be here, just be in silence or whatever.
Right.
Remember that you need these things too, that you have all rights to them, and no one should ever tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I've been looking for like a support group and stuff too, because I mean, I've been finding friends of mine who have also lost parents and stuff, and they understand on that aspect of things, but nobody quite gets the, oh, my life is kind of a crime scene right now, and I have so many unanswered questions.
Yes.
Not that is any of their fault either, and I don't want anybody to think that.
Well, you also don't want them to go
is.
through that either, so it's just like, no, it's fine, you don't want to go through this. But
right, exactly.
But
exactly.
It's also good to know, to have people that you can reach to that understands the weirdness of it all, right? The I don't know what happened. I don't know why it happened, even.
Yeah, because, like, you wake up the next day, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Like, what is happening? Like, if I know that many people can at least relate to that, because there are so many things that can happen aside from just a tragic death that can just flip your world upside down. I mean, shortly after finding out that my dad died, we found out that my grandfather has lung cancer. So, like, you know, just things like that. Like, your world stops, but everything else around you is still spinning. Like, it's still going, and you just have to keep going, but you are upside down and sideways.
Yeah, your world has stopped, but the world around you can't. Yeah. And it's hard to get your head around that too. Like, why isn't everyone else stopped? Well, it's not everyone else it affected, and it's hard. Sometimes you just want to scream at them, going like, why don't you care? Well, it's like, it's not the same effect to them. It's just like, and it's hard. It's
right. And you're into horror, right? So Are you into Hereditary? Have you watched Hereditary?
No.
You've never watched Hereditary?
No. Girl, I work 24/7.
I got you. So, Hereditary is like, it's kind of like a demon psychological thriller movie. But I'm kind of like, I don't want to spoil too much, but there's a sudden death, and like the mother of the person who's suddenly killed is just like going through so much, and I find myself relating to her in some ways, not with all the like scary crazy demon shit that's going on, but you know, with her grief that she's experiencing. Yeah
Not the demons, not the horror stuff, but the grief. I get the grief.
Right. I highly recommend that movie though. Alex Wolff is in it, and I have had a crush on him since I was a kid anyway. So, but that's a really good one. If you're into horror, you would like that one.
Sounds like I'll look for it. And sorry, my coping mechanism is jokes. That's my coping.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so just to be clear, that my coping is making jokes and trying to cheer people up. Part of being depressed, apparently, is the whole trying to make sure everyone else is happy around you, because you don't want them to feel like you're feeling. Yay.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, my dad's talent at funerals was making everybody laugh, so I intend to make it a comedy show.
Just hold on. I know how to make my dad's funeral the light of the town. I'm gonna tell really bad jokes. Hold on. Pulls out a giant piece of paper.
Exactly. That's exactly how it'll go.
His jokes were so dad-like, but they were funny.
Dad jokes are the best jokes. I'm not even a dad, and I still make dad jokes. Okay.
Anytime that he
Parent
didn't
jokes.
spend working, he spent making a new joke. I'll tell you that much.
It didn't matter like what time of the night it was. He would be asking, "Do you want to hear a Pink Floyd song?"
Yeah,
And
he loved
see,
Pink Floyd.
those are how you should go forward. Even with all the devastation, remembering the good times with the people that you love.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, he was so wonderful. You have no idea. We're so grateful for the time that we got to spend. It just sucked.
yes, and I 100% get that. Just
He was a great person.
yeah. So I just like to point out things because I'd have people around me who don't see stuff like that. They get so wrapped up in missing people. Like, but try to remember the good things with them because that's how you keep them alive in your heart. Is remembering those stupid jokes and the stupid things they used to do and the things they did to make you laugh and smile because that's their legacy.
I mean, he's definitely still around. Like, we were making music in his old bedroom because his old bedroom happens to have the best acoustics.
Ooh.
And we were using his old bongos. And none of us were in there, but the next morning we heard tapping on the He's definitely around, and he turns on his TV all the time. My mom will go back there because the printer's in there too. So my mom will go back there to print something, and he'll turn on the TV by itself, and my mom will go to turn it off, and he'll turn it right back on. Stuff like that. It's not like he's gone.
And it had to be the bongos for sure because that night Cody had stayed with us and he was sleeping in the living room, and our room is connected to his room, like on the other side of the wall. And I woke up and I heard Cody cough in the living room, and then I heard on the bongos, and I was like, what the hell? And I asked Cody if he was playing the bongos, and he said no, and I walked out and he was in the living room, and I would have heard him
Yeah, I
walk
did
by the
not
door.
move. Literally just chilling on the couch, just waking up.
And those were his bongos, so it makes sense that he would be playing them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to say this. Apparently my dad is listening to this live stream and has informed me that I'm only allowed to make elephant jokes at his funeral, so I now understand. Hi,
Elephant
Dad.
joke?
Oh, it's a thing with my dad. Don't worry about it. That is, I completely get what he's talking about. I just got text messages from my dad. I'm like, what? He's like, I'm at the funeral. I'm like, oh, you're at the live stream. Hi, Dad.
Hello.
He shows up every once in a
Also,
while.
thank you, Uvalintz, for your kind words.
Avulance.
I
Avulance?
was just called them A
We hope
because I
we
can't
pronounce
pronounce the rest of it.
Avulance.
What is it?
That's what we call them.
We hope we pronounce that.
Yeah, I hope we didn't butcher that.
I'm gonna do it extremely avulance.
Avulance.
Hello,
think.
Avulance is apparently how you do
I'm
it.
gonna do it super
Avulance.
French. Avulance.
He's like, that's fine. We're having fun now
Okay.
with the name. It's just like, Olivance. I'm like, now that I know it's
Also,
French, my brain
We are
goes,
sorry
yeah.
for your loss as well.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that. I'm sorry for your
Yeah.
loss, Cindy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing. But yes, I oh, English, not French. They and them. Got you.
Oh, so it is Avulance.
Avulance. Okay.
What does that mean? I'm curious. Or is that your name?
Maybe it's just something that they made up.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
I don't know, but
They got a cool dinosaur profile picture though.
It's a
Whoa.
dinosaur? Oh my god, it's a stegosaurus.
Good job.
I am a
I was-
stegosaurus.
it means me. It's my
Oh
name.
my god.
Oh, cool. I like
The
it.
couch indentation song.
Oh my gosh. Do you have a dog?
Oh, you drew it. Or,
Me?
my bad, they drew it.
You had to be specific. There's a lot of people on this thing. You need to ask who specifically who.
I'm referring to what's your name, host?
242.
Okay. Do you have a dog?
Yes, her name is Lulu. That's what I was saying. Come here, Lulu. Come here. because that's my dog.
Lulu, what? Is she a little dog?
No, she's medium. She's a husky
Oh.
crossed with a German shepherd.
Oh, okay.
That's a pretty dog.
I have a little dog, and I know all little dogs. They can't just like sit on the couch, okay? They gotta be on the top of the couch cushion in their like little nest indent,
Yes.
right?
Yep, cats.
And- Right. So there was this song I just came across. This guy, he makes songs, I guess, about dogs and like their silly little quirks. And he made one called Couch Indentation, and it's been stuck in my head, and it goes, my couch indentation, my couch indentation, it's the perfect location for a snoozing situation and bagel formation. Couch indentation. And oh, I love it so much. It's been in my head.
I mean,
That is really cool.
weirdly enough, my cat does not do that on her couch. We have this weird, like, thing for shoes, but she likes the very top of it. It's like a hammock-like thing. So we can't put shoes up there because it's her spot. She will knock the shoes off if they're there.
It's not the shoe hammock. It's the cat hammock.
Yes, and you better pet her while she's up there and also mess with her so she can claw at your hands. Even though you're allergic and your hand will inflame.
Of course,
special.
of course. She has to have the people who are totally allergic to her. She has to make sure they feel pain.
Oh, yes.
I also love with cats how you can get them a scratching post and a nice little comfy bed and blankets and toys, and they'll still choose to sleep in the box and claw at the couch.
Oh, you see, we have boxes for said cat. We have given up on this. There are boxes in my house all over the place for the cat. Because we now know that, no, don't get her toys, just get her boxes. We even made her a house. She has a little cat house out of boxes.
There's a
loves
cat
it.
tree in the living room here for Cody's cats, and earlier the cat got his head stuck in the Coke bottle or the Coke can
Yeah.
box. So
Yep.
instead of going inside the cat tree to sleep, he tried to enter a very small hole
He
in a
does
very
that
small
all the
box.
time. Big cat.
Right, so he's trying to fit himself in there, and I just hear ka-dunk, and then I hear
He went outside after that. 'Cause he-
Like, he's not a small cat at all. Like, he's very fluffy and he's kind of fat, and he's trying to fit into this very small hole.
He's
that's
not
already a
fat.
very small box.
He's fluffy.
Chunky.
It's just a little
It's
chunk.
very long.
He is a very long cat. He looks like a Maine Coon. Almost.
He might be part Maine Coon with how he looks.
Don't think he is.
I don't think he's
That's the
big enough.
thing, you
Well, not big
know.
enough, but I mean, like, have some traits.
maybe. We'll see.
Or I don't know if traits is the
Let's
right
get him a 23andMe.
word. 23 cat.
They do one for dogs, something like that for dogs. I'm not sure if they do it for cats though. Cause cat breeds are a little weird. They're except for a couple, they're more about the coloring than they are about the cat itself.
There's only a few kind of cats. There's black, brown, white, and orange. Not any specific species, just the colors.
Well, there's a little
There's
more.
little-
There's black and white cats. There's they actually do have names, and then there's the Maine Coon,
Yeah,
which is
I
his
was
own
just making a joke.
cat. Black.
I just
white,
know
brown,
calico cats exist, and they're
Yes.
usually girls.
and they're multicolored. They're
Yes.
I was getting that from because I saw this thing where dog owners are like, I have a Siberian Husky Shih Tzu mix who's 114 kilograms, and then cat owners are like, what kind of cat do you have?
Like, I have a brown
And
one.
then you have cat owners who are like, what kind of cat do you have? And then they're just like, orange.
This is Toaster.
This is Toaster and he's orange.
Calicone is a girl, of course. Yeah. So Sydney says she has a calicone and a ginger, and the calicone is is a girl. And is the ginger a girl? Because the gingers with girls are smarter than the gingers when they're males.
I think that her profile picture is the cat too. That's beautiful.
Aw,
Very cute.
that's
Oh,
great.
No, I think it's a picture of her face. Not like a cartoon
Aw.
picture.
See, we've never been able to have cats in my house because Dad was always allergic. So we are thinking about getting a cat.
I am also allergic to cats.
I'm
Rip.
allergic to I'm allergic to certain kinds of cats. Most cats I'm fine around, but like I don't know what even kind of cat specifically. I guess it's the fur, but like if I am around like certain type of cat fur, I'll get like
So it is
my eyes will water and
actually their saliva you're allergic to because cats clean themselves. You normally want to be around short hairs, which is what we have. We have a short hair, small. Yeah, it's their saliva, but because they are always cleaning themselves, it's their fur. With dogs, it's their down or something. It's their sweat, I think. It's something like that. When people are more likely to be allergic to cats than they are dogs, but if you're allergic to dogs, you're also normally allergic to cats. I'm not allergic to dogs.
Dad was allergic to dogs, so we always had schnauzers or dogs that didn't shed.
Yeah.
So, and then we have a Shih Tzu Cocker Spaniel Poodle mutt, and she doesn't really shed until her hair gets super long, so he would always shave her.
Oh, that's fair. That's a weird mix, though.
Dude, she is the ugliest, cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I get that.
She looks like a little gremlin, but like a cute gremlin.
She looks like if Mr. Miyagi from the Gremlins movie handed me a Mogwai and was like, here, this one got a little messed up on the way out.
But it's cute. I love her.
Yeah, she's adorable. She's a great dog.
She is. She doesn't listen for shit though. I'll take her out to pee and I'll be like, get back here, come on, we gotta go back inside. And she's darting up the driveway into the road. And I'm like, no, come back.
She doesn't listen to you, but when I come out, I'll hear him struggling, and I'll be like, Shiva, get back in the house. And I hear tink, 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 and she's running back up to the door.
I guess you're not more aggressive with it, but more stern with it. And I think she knows that I'm not gonna be mad at her, so she just doesn't care.
Yeah.
Good morning, Cleo. Chloe. Cleo. Oh, God. You can kill me later, Chloe.
Golden Doodle
Carillion bear.
Is a weird mix.
There's no L in that, is there?
Yes,
Yeah, there
there
is.
is.
Carillion bear. I
Read better than you. Don't question me. I left my meds in the car. That's okay.
You may go get them?
No, I'm alright.
Time is out. It's about time for him. But I just found out about this dog breed last night because I work with animals. Like a Visa or a Visa?
Oh, a Vizsla.
Vizsla, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what those were. I just thought they were like a form of like a dachshund or like a weird form of like a lab or something.
Yeah, no, Vizslas are cute.
Oh my God. They're adorable looking. I just looked at them.
I've been obsessed with Staffies, the Staffordshire Terriers, because I like pit bulls, but I just think they're a little too big. So, I like the Staffies a lot. There's this one video that I've been watching. I watch it when I'm sad, because I love it. And it's this British woman, and she's got a little Staffy, and she just moved into an apartment, I guess. And the Staffy is just, like, wiggle butt excited, super, super excited, like, wagging its tail a million miles a minute. And she goes, I came home with a present for you. It's a moving in present. It's a Christmas carrot. And it's a carrot with a little Santa hat on.
Oh
And the
my
Staffy
God.
takes it in her mouth. And she runs back up into her room and starts chewing on it in her bed with her butt still wiggling. She's just so cute. Oh, I love it.
The Vizsla.
Vizsla.
The Vizsla we have at work, his name's Jasper, and he's like the most anxious. Like, he always looks like he's terrified, and even though he's like, he's not like around any other dogs, and he doesn't have to interact with other dogs, but he's just like so cautious of everything.
He's like,
That's not Roscoe, is it?
No, Roscoe is this like small, fat, like, I don't even know what the hell he is, but his ears are so long that when we put the leash on him, I
Have to make sure the ears don't go in it. I think. Hold on. They might have had internet problems.
Cute.
There he goes.
My grandfather used to have a Yorkie Dachshund mix. He used to have two, but the one had super big ears, like so big that if she ran too fast, like it would turn inside out and just like stay that way. It was like it was so big and heavy, it just would stay there.
Well, I don't know if you guys knew this was a thing, but with that specific dog, Roscoe, the tips of his ears are being worn down from like dragging across the floor his entire life.
What?
Yeah. because his ears are so long they drag on the.
Bloodhound? Let me see.
I don't know exactly what he is.
Because that's what that sounds like.
Those are some long ears.
Yeah.
I mean, bloodhounds have long ears.
Yeah,
That's
I don't know
exactly
why.
what he is. Wait, no, he's not big though. He's very like
He might be
short
crossed
and
with
fat.
something. He might be crossed with.
Oh.
But yeah, his face looks. I think you are right that he has to be crossed with something because a bloodhound looks exactly like him, but they're taller. So he's
Yeah.
probably mixed with like a chihuahua or
Something. Something that's too short for those ears. Because bloodhounds
Yeah.
have huge ears, but they have the body to go with them.
You know, I've seen bloodhound beagles before, and they have
The biggest ears.
they have super big ears that like drag on the ground. So
Yeah, that's exactly what he is.
He's a
Yeah,
bloodhound beagle.
Oh, it's a terrible mix. Oh no.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
not
Here,
the
I'll,
biggest fan of beagles. Their nose rule their lives, and like bloodhounds are just as like their nose rule everything. I'm just like those two combos. No, those two combos.
Beagles are just loud. I think that they're cute, but they're just loud.
I sent a picture of him in the live stream chat just so you guys can see what I'm talking about.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
he's so cute.
Yeah.
But when he doesn't stand up straight like that, when he just walks, his ears drag.
Yeah, because
Aw.
they're gonna be too long. Yeah. Oh my god. Yes.
His
yes.
ears so big, he hear everything.
He hears everything.
I hear
He,
everything.
I guess he can also just hear the vibe because I was trying to bath him last night and he was not.
He hears
Like,
the
no,
vibe.
no, I can hear your thoughts. You're trying to give me a bath. No.
Dude, he was choking himself with the leash, and like we have these crates that we put these like 3 kind of hoses on the front of the crate, and it blows like warm air into it so they dry quicker, and it's like it's safe and everything. And I was trying to get him into that, and there was no way he was going to go into it, and I keep all of my fingers and my nose because like he snapped at me the first time, like really close to my face, so I put him back in his like den, and then I was like, all right, Roscoe, we're gonna try it again, and then I pull him back out and I try to force him in there, and he's like choking himself trying to get away. So I try to like pick him up to really get him in there, and it's like 3 snaps back to back to back at my face, and I dodged all 3 of them, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. So I left him alone, and I got away because I was not gonna lose my eyes for a dog.
After being bit in the face by a dog once, you're fine.
I would rather not have a first time with that.
Yeah.
I
Me too.
dog sat for these people, and I was afraid to tell them. I never did end up telling them that their dog bit me because they told me from the beginning, from the get-go, that their dog could get aggressive because she was previously owned by an abusive owner.
Oh,
And I was
no.
like, okay. And I had never had issues with her before. I had dog sat her like once or twice before this. But sometime in July, I dog sat for her again. And she's got this thing with her food. It is just like with her food.
Yeah.
And I was not reading her body language properly because she does not growl. She just gets aggressive and snaps. She doesn't growl. She doesn't give you a warning. And the only thing that gives you a warning is like her ears going back and her little snarl, but she doesn't make any noise, right? So I gave her food and I set up and I walked away, and she, like, I bent down to put the food cup back, and I just saw that beautiful pretty dog. Anyway, so I went to go put her food back and she snapped at me and she got my lip and she pretty much bit a hole next to my lip ring. And I mean, I was fine. She didn't bite at me, like, again, successfully. She did try to lunge at me again after I fed her the next day. But I pretty much just, like, held my arm out and she realized I wasn't trying to hurt her, so she just moved on. But that's the only time I've ever been bit, and it hurt. It didn't feel good, but I survived, so I'm good.
I was gonna say dogs and food. Yeah, those are normally the worst places that dogs are gonna react, especially if they've been abused. Normally, it's abused with food as like a consequence and stuff. So like sometimes people will
Right.
take their food away. Like, no, you've been bad, so I'm gonna take your food away, or no, blah blah. So like So Lulu has had a few times where if there's like a toy or something she's really into, and she wants to chew on it. If she starts growling at us, we go, no, 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 you don't growl, and we will take it away. But we'll give it back to her, but be like, no, no, you don't growl because of toys. Like, that's not
Right.
okay. Because it's not her food, it's a treat, it's a toy. Like, we don't fuck with her food. But it's like, this is a toy. Like, no, I might have to take it away from you because you're being too loud right now, and I need you to be quiet. But yeah, dogs and food are normally like the thing they'll be most territorial about because that's their livelihood. Without that, they can't live, right?
Right. And I mean, the thing about her was right after she bit me and then finished eating, she came over to me and she licked all over me and then sat at my feet for the rest of the day. You know, like she was obviously remorseful, so I didn't I wasn't scared. It was just like, oh, this was obviously a reaction from her and not anything serious.
She probably triggered something from her past, and she probably realized afterwards that you weren't the one she thought. She might have saw her old owner or something. Apparently, September's been mauled by a dog when they were 10. So.
Oh my god!
That's terrible.
What kind of dog?
If we may ask.
Yeah, like.
Was it another dragon dog? Was it a dragon dog, September? Was it a dragon dog? Sorry, we make a lot of dragon jokes with him.
I love dragons.
Okay, what specific type of dragon do you guys like? I'm asking everybody because there's like thousands of different types.
I have no idea.
Oh my gosh, that's a loaded question because like
which one do you think?
Are we talking about dragons that are like real life dinosaurs? Are we talking about?
I'm talking about dragons in general.
I'm gonna just go with the little Mushu from Mulan.
I mean, Mushu was pretty funny and cute.
Mushu's pretty cool.
I do like the Chinese dragons, but I won't lie. What comes to my head is the the Western dragons because of D&D.
A Black Lab Pitbull mix. Somebody said Spyro's cool. Evolulian said Spyro's cool. I love Spyro. Good games.
Yes.
Black Lab Pitbull mix. That surprises me because like Black Lab. I've never met an aggressive lab in my life.
But that's a big dog.
Right.
Yeah, and powerful.
Especially me.
With a
we had a Black Lab German Shepherd mix for like 10 years, and he was scared of my Shih Tzu.
Gunnar was scared of Shiva? Well, Gunnar was like a big, like, softy teddy bear type dog, and Shiva's like...
Yeah, Shiva's a little goblin. I think if I'm gonna pick a dragon... Oh, that's so difficult, because I really love dragons. I'm gonna just go with...
all of them. Every single one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with all of them.
Just all.
When I think of dragon, I think of, like, your stereotypical, like, medieval dragon that's, like, black and has, like, some spikes and it's scaly and it's, like, it looks kind of like a Chinese dragon, but, like, not
no,
the
that's
Chinese
what I'm
dragon.
thinking of. I'm thinking of a Skyrim dragon, like, literally.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, one of the legendary dragons from Skyrim, because I really do love them, too. Like, I love Parthenax, and I love the legendaries you meet in the... Oh, what's it called? It's the realm that you go to in the Dawnguard quest. I sound like a total nerd. But you meet, I think, Ariel? Or you meet an elf in which you're trying to get this bow, and you have to go to this special realm in which it has 2 big giant dragons that bust out of this lake that you have to fight. They're really cool. One's like red and one's white, and it's really neat.
Sounds pretty cool.
Solstheim? No, not Solstheim. Solstheim was the Dragonborn quest. Dawnguard was the vampire quest.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna bother me so bad.
You're gonna remember it. You're gonna yell it out at random points. It was Baba! And everyone's be like, what the hell? It was Baba!
Skyrim Dawnguard quest. Here we go, Google.
Lance, what drawings are you talking about? Or are you just talking about, like, there's drawings in general?
There's a lovely slate drawings of medieval dragons. I mean, I've seen the one where they have the cross-eyed dragon, the green I think it's green. Maybe it's blue. I don't know. I've seen that before.
Sorry, I need to move, Alex.
No, you're good.
You can't link anything because you're not. It's It's a Google because you're not a mod. That's the word. Only people with the blue screwdriver next to their name and me can link things. It's a safety feature, which is a good safety feature because you don't want random people coming in and start spamming random things.
I
Or bots.
just figured out where this quest was that I was looking for. It's in Darkfall Cave, but you have to go to these like portals, and there are these freaking spiders.
Ugh.
Not
no.
spiders.
Ugh. No spiders. I hate
There are
spiders.
spiders, but there's also dragons. I'm trying to find the dragons because they're so cool.
Staffy first?
Frozen Lake.
Safety. I think.
What was it?
Just the last comment.
Oh,
Safety.
oh, safety.
Yeah, I was like, it's probably.
Safety
Typo,
first. Yeah.
Oh, safety first. She missed the E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Oh.
Forgotten Vale. Yes. Here we go. Okay.
Because you would have a lot of people coming in and just like spamming the most horrendous things you could possibly imagine.
Or just bots in general.
Yeah, and you don't want bots.
Ah,
Yeah.
2 named dragons in the large ice field of the Forgotten Vale ambush the Dragonborn, Volsarum and Naslarum. Interesting. But yeah, they're really neat. Those are the ones that I was talking about. I would say that as far as design, those are some of my favorites. I think that they're just really cool.
I just like dragons.
What the light dragon from the new Legends of Zelda game is really cool.
Don't even get me started about The Legend of Zelda. I didn't. Ooh.
I should not have opened this
no.
door.
No, we're gonna close
No.
that door. The stream is coming near to an end, so we just
Yeah.
close
Okay,
that
okay.
door. And I do agree, Chloe. You and me both spell real good. I think the Canadian teaching failed us
Illustration of a
both.
winged dragon by Frederick Justin Burtuck. I'm gonna have to.
From Shadow of the Colossus, yes. Very cool.
I love dragons. I think they're so cool.
Oh, I've had a lot of fun being on this
Yeah.
stream. This has been a very,
Yeah,
very good
it's
time.
awesome.
This has been great. We've loved being on it, and we're very honored to be the
last guest.
last people that will be on it.
Last guest. Woo!
I remember I was on it last year, myself and Cody was there, but to have everybody here and it be the last one is really special. And
Well,
it feels
Cindy
very
said
nice.
she went ahead and followed us. Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.
We'll be releasing some more music soon.
We're planning to release another song by mid-December. That's the goal. It'll probably be before then, but it'll be by then.
I'm definitely going to be releasing some solo stuff soon. I got a lot of stuff on my mind that I got to get
Yeah.
out. So,
And Cody and I,
So many projects.
Cody and I are
you-
working on this 2-part EP. We're not sure when it's gonna come out because it's still being worked on, but it's called "I Saw a Ghost in Louisiana" Part 1 and 2.
I mean, it's Louisiana. Of course, you saw a ghost. Louisiana's just haunted, especially New Orleans. I was gonna say, on your profile for your band, do you guys have your solo Twitters as well linked there?
Yes,
Okay.
there.
Perfect.
We follow our personal ones, and they're also tagged in the Meet the Band post,
Perfect.
and they're retweeted and just tagged all over. So they're very easy to find if you're
Yeah.
on the band account.
be warned, I'm very vocal on my Twitter.
Yeah, we're all very vocal on Twitter, so
And
please
do
be
you
warned.
guys have an Insta?
We do. It's the same as our Twitter. It's Aura Avenue Music, and our TikTok is also Aura Avenue Music.
And I also have my personal, all of my socials personally are at Bella Bolello.
And my personal's Papa Jake Music, and Cody's is Cry for Chaos.
Yep.
And Maddie is not here, but Maddie's is at Maddie Handline.
Yeah.
Maddie would be here, but art school is very difficult.
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure of that because I only linked towards your band. If I had known that, I probably would have done more links.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's perfectly
This
okay.
is mostly a band effort, so that's why we linked the band.
Yeah.
Fair. Just wanted to put together for my channel, since it's coming to an end. For the next 2 weeks is going to be compilations. This week is going to be fictional stories. Next week's going to be true stories. I'm leaning towards paranormal for that. And then we go to Halloween week, which is going to be chaotic. I'm going to be doing a video every other week instead of one a day. I just don't have the ability to do that anymore. So stay tuned for that. That's everything for that. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope everyone has a very good morning and enjoyed the last ever coffee stream. And a quick one more note for the people who just joined. The streams are not fully over. I'm just changing either the date and time. So I'm leaning towards Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if that doesn't work, then it'll be Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just to give everyone a warning, that's what's happening. It's just getting rebranded and everything too. So I hope you all have a good day and take care.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
and
you so much.
We hope everybody has a great day.